Hello everybody, welcome on ACCESSO RISERVATO. My name is Francesco Bommartini and today I'm here with Iver Sandoy. Hello Iver.
Hello Francesco, nice to meet
you. Exactly. The same for me. Iver is the drummer of ENSLAVED. That is the band that I can interview today in this program, and I've prepared some questions for you. So the first one is about the last album. In fact, I've listened to the last album, UTGARD, that will be out on the next 2 of October. What are the main differences between the last works for you?
Well, for me personally, the main difference is that I'm now in the band,
and in the band, and for the band, and for the sound in its entirety.
Well, I think maybe you've. It's a bit hard to describe the differences from within the band because you kind of work so intensely with each album, but maybe I feel that this one sounds a bit more organic.
Yeah.
In a way, which is and also even more diverse. Maybe we touch on even more different styles.
All right.
So, but also. Of course, what's evident is that there are a bit shorter songs on this album compared to, for instance, the last one that had less songs, but the album was longer. This album is actually
shorter.
It's the classic album length, 45 minutes or so.
Okay.
So
can I ask?
It's a very focused work.
Yeah. Can I ask you to focus better because you're bright? Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Is this better? Yeah.
Yes, it's better. The production specialist of the last work seems very good to me. Aggressive but clear. How does it works the recording phase this time?
Well, we do when we start the recording proper. We do the drum recordings in the main studio that I'm a co-owner in Bergen. It's the Duper studio.
Yeah.
So we do like the basic tracks, drums and some guitars and bass and stuff for a week is what we did this time, and then we moved into the place where I'm sitting now, that is Solslottet studio. The castle of the sun is the translation.
And where is exactly in Norway?
In Bergen.
Bergen.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so the recording for you is simple this time for you as a drummer. Or did you find some, some problem during the road?
Well, since I'm also the producer and engineer, I actually was engineering from behind the drum kits this time. So I had my setup next to the drum kit, and when I recorded the drums, and I sat by the drum kit and did the editing and all sorts. So it was actually twice the amount of work that it used to be with ENSLAVED for the previous albums when I was only producing.
Yeah, you have done the double of work.
Yeah.
Okay. You've entered in ENSLAVED as drummer 2 years ago in 2018. How it succeeded?
Well, sorry, once more.
How succeed this thing? Why did you enter in ENSLAVED?
Well, I think it was just when Kato, the previous drummer, decided to leave.
Yeah.
It was after some weeks and months of consideration, then I decided to say yes, because I've been working with Enslaved for so long that for both me and the band it felt like the natural evolution. Because I had been I've been subbing for Kato also previously to joining as a regular member. So, and very recently as well, just in 2017 I did some gigs for Kato. So it wasn't that long ago that I did it. So we kind of felt that I could do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was a pretty heavy decision, because it's not to take lightly to enter into Enslaved. It's a lot of traveling and a lot of work.
Yeah, in fact, for sure. But obviously, in this moment, I think it's all different, for the travel, because with COVID now is not possible.
Now, especially now, yes.
Yeah. But you said that you've worked with Enslaved before, but were friends also, or this thing arrived in the last 2 years?
No, definitely. We've been great friends even 10 years before I started working with the band. So, right. So it's been... yeah, it's just a natural evolution. We got to know each other like maybe the late 90s, around 2000. And,
yes.
And we had like different side projects with me and Ivar and Grutle and me. We had some, just like hobby projects with music like 20 years ago almost. So... So we've been good friends, and then 10 years ago I started working in the production for them.
Yeah.
And so it's just naturally evolved, basically.
Yeah, a naturally flow. Okay. Yeah. From over 20 years, Enslaved has progressive parts in their music. And the alternative ones, if you want to call in another kind of term. But many people always thinks at you as a black metal act. What do you think about this?
Well,
especially for the past.
Yes. Well, the black metal or the extreme metal past it's part of the Enslaved history, and we don't try to escape the history. Yeah. But it is just one part of the band. It's not like Enslaved didn't stop in 1997. They had an evolution and continued doing other kinds of music after the like black metal sounding albums. So I don't think it's a big problem. If people only want to listen to that music, then those albums are there and you can listen to them for as much as you want. But we are very happy that so many people actually want to follow the evolution of the band, and those I guess those echoes of the extreme metal past will always be in Enslaved's music. So you take your upbringing and the early sound of the band is always in there somewhere.
Okay.
So I don't feel that it's a problem if people only want to listen to the Frost album, they can. The album is out there. So yeah, please do.
Exactly. You can find it.
It's not like we don't want to play those songs. We do that all the time. It's fine. I think it's cool for a band that has existed for 30 years. It feels strangely natural to play a song from '93 and then go directly into a song from 2017. It's no. That's the scope of Enslaved. Like the big, you have the big line and the huge variation, but it also feels like the same band.
Okay.
So it doesn't feel to us like playing cover songs when we do the 25-year-old stuff. It's part of the Enslaved DNA, if you will.
Yeah. Okay. But don't you think that this kind of nostalgic idea of music is sometimes a stop for the natural evolution of a band? Especially this idea that have the fans sometimes. The fans.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it stops. At least it doesn't stop us. But music is about. There's a huge part of the experience of music that is about nostalgia anyway. So it even is for us. When we create new music, we tap into maybe nostalgic feelings about music that we have listened to in the past, and you use that for something new. But we also listen to like the same albums that you listened to 30 years ago, combined with the newer stuff. So I don't think necessarily that nostalgia is a bad word. It's something to be taken, and I totally understand that fans are nostalgic. It's not like I don't, for instance, like the latest Iron Maiden album better than maybe the second or third Iron Maiden album that I listened to when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
So nostalgia and music are intertwined. You can't really get away from it.
Yeah.
But as a creative person, as an artist or as a band, I don't think you should, or it doesn't fit Enslaved at least, to be purely a nostalgia.
No, I'm not speaking about Enslaved especially, but in the general idea. I think that Enslaved has followed their personal idea to compose new music this time, and also in the last 20 years, I think, and also before, also when they play black metal, because at the time they were younger. I think that was a genre interesting, and so they've tried in a good way to propose.
It's like
that.
you said, when they did that was something new.
Yeah.
So they just continued trying to do something new.
Exactly.
All through those years. And that's what the band is about. It's not Motorhead or AC/DC. It didn't stop.
Okay. I can assure for the old style fans of Enslaved that also in UTGARD you can find some blackish parts. So so it's okay. You can listen it. You can try. Okay.
And people go on and on about there are too much clean vocals, and other people complain, maybe the progressive people complain that, I can't stand the harsh vocals. And I'm sorry, but Grutle has been doing clean vocals for the entire Enslaved career, so it will always be a mix.
Yes, you're in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's not so comfortable thing sometimes.
No, that's true.
Yeah, because somebody wants the harsh vocals, somebody wants the clean vocals, and so you follow your way. All right. And I can say really that the last work is interesting, especially because of this, especially because it's not only one codified genre, but you can listen to different kind of influences in it, And I know that sometimes to say this is difficult because the people that haven't heard can't understand exactly about what I'm saying. But I think that this work is really, how can I explain, mature work, really important work. Okay, important album.
Well, mature. We are. Most of the band is in our mid-40s now, so it's natural that we make music for, I guess, from our point of view, which is like people who are in our 40s.
Yeah.
Except the keyboard player Håkon, he is still in his 20s. So.
Okay. And Iver, how did function the composition process for the last album, UTGARD?
Well, it's basically the same that it has been for I guess
all the previous,
even from before I started working with Enslaved. It's Ivar who writes for at least for the last albums since I started working with him. He writes all the riffs and most of the keyboard and guitar melodies and all that, and he creates the demos with the programmed drums, and it's basically pretty finished except for the vocals.
Okay.
And so then we when he has kind of finished his part without the vocals, then we start working on fitting with the lyrics and the vocal lines and all that, and also in that process we add some melodies and we do some arranging. We shift riffs around and shorten or lengthen certain parts of the songs. So then there's a certain amount of collaboration. But then we play ball a bit, and there are also some small changes that occur when we go into the recording studio. We always keep the door open for certain ideas that when you're actually at the drum kit, for instance, then you can start to feel that this part should be different, and we don't shy away from changes at the last minute if that makes the song better. So we try stuff all along, basically.
Okay.
But for the most part, like the main frame of the compositions, that comes like a very, very finished, or not exactly like it's written in stone, but it's a very it sounds pretty finished coming from Ivar, and then you can start working on it. It's not like he just sends a tape of riffs without drums and you have to come up with your own. He has an idea of where he wants it.
Okay, a clear idea.
Yeah, and then we can start to argue if I don't agree, for instance.
Okay, but how is composed your live set? As drummer, and if there are some differences between the things that you have used in the studio,
like the actual drum set.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of depends a bit, because a lot of the time we play on rented equipment. So then I just have to. We ask for pretty much exactly the same as I use in the studio. But sometimes, for instance, if you're in I don't know, Thailand or South America, you can't get exactly what you ask for. So then you just have to improvise and make do with what you get. Okay. But basically, it's exactly the same. For this album, I used a pearl kit with pretty new one, and that's the one that we've been using live as well, and the same cymbals basically. So it's nothing too complicated.
Oh, all right. Now we have arrived to in or out. That is a moment of the interview where I ask you two things different, and you choose only one and explain me why.
Okay.
Okay, it's a little game.
Yeah.
The first question is wine or beer?
Difficult.
Yeah, it is.
If I had to choose one for the rest of my life, it would have to be beer.
To be beer, all right. And why?
It's just I'm not always in the mood for wine, but I can always have a beer.
Okay, perfect. Second question, Darkthrone or Satyricon?
Oh, that's easy. Darkthrone. I just enjoy them more. Satyricon doesn't really speak to me.
Do you like Darkthrone also the last works, also the last CDs?
Oh yes, especially the last one. What was it called again? Do you remember the last album?
The name of the last album, no. But I also like the last period that is a black and roll period, you know.
I remember the album before last was called Arctic Thunder.
Yeah. Okay.
That is actually very, very funny because Fenris took that name from, you know, Kato, the previous drummer in Enslaved. His first band was called Arctic Thunder.
Okay.
So this is I think actually Fenris asked Kato for permission, or he just told him, haha, I now named a Darkthrone album after your first band.
The last one is Old Star.
Old Star, yes. Yeah, actually I remember quite well. We had the listening session at my place, Grutle and me, having a few beers and listening to Old Star and having like you know, those ready-made frozen pizzas, very basic food, nothing fancy. I feel that fits Darkthrone very well. It's not fancy, it just works.
Okay, all right. CD or vinyl?
That is a tough one. Can I elaborate why?
Yeah. For sure.
Well, I will have to go with vinyl, but that's it's a bit to do with the nostalgia, because it was still vinyls when I was a kid, and so the first music I started buying was first cassette, but then vinyl. But I will say this for CD. CDs are still the closest you as a listener can get to what we are listening to in the studio when we actually finish off the albums and decide this is how we want it to be.
Okay.
Because vinyl has a sound, and you either like that sound added to your music or you don't. But quite often it's a very pleasing sound. So it's a tough one, but I will go with the vinyl because of the whole collecting it, and it's a bit more fun. But I still have all my CDs set up, and I listen to the CDs because, like I said, that is still the closest you can get to the actual studio.
In the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Slayer or Megadeth?
Well, Slayer they have quit, haven't they? I would say Slayer when Lombardo was in it.
Okay, so in the
so in the
first
grand
part
scheme of things, it will have to be Slayer.
Okay.
But once they kicked Lombardo out, no.
Okay. Pasta or pizza?
And from an Italian, how can I not disappoint you?
Did you try both?
I definitely eat more pizza than pasta.
Okay.
But I thoroughly enjoy both very, very much.
Okay.
For wine, I think I value pasta more, but you can never go wrong with a good. It's easier to fail with pasta than with pizza, I feel.
Yeah.
You can get away with more.
The beer is right for pizza and for pasta, wine, yes.
Yeah.
Also for me. But for pasta, also the beer can works. Yeah.
Oh yes. That was a tough one.
The last one is catatonia or amorphis?
Well, I don't know amorphis very well, so I will have to go with catatonia then.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Iver Sandoy. Okay, sorry for my English speaking. It was really a pleasure to have you here on Accesso Riservato. I want to thank you, and I want to also salute all the people that are watching us. Thank you very much. Have a nice day and a nice future, and we hope all that COVID will finish soon.
Yes, let's fingers crossed.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.